I gotta release some of the tension. Life pulling on me, can't forfeit my pension. I need the mic in the booth. I love the studio. And my thirst need quenching.
Last night I was up and I couldn't sleep. Had a lot on my mind, I couldn't even read. I tried laying back down, but it didn't work, no. So I said to myself, I'll just hit the studio. Studio love, 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 studio love.
One of the things that I was really concerned about, man, was a fear of rejection. It's like I was on this Cosby Show kick. I was like, I'm gonna make a real family work. We're gonna have conversations. We're gonna talk. We're gonna do this thing right. But man, one of my greatest fears was one day my daughter coming in the room and hitting me with, "You ain't my daddy." You know, because that thing cuts deep, man.
It's a beast.
It cuts deep.
You got men out here thinking that it's too much, just their family.
Yeah.
If I get married, well, not even get married. If I got a girl and we have a baby and it's mine and we just going through that, some guys can't deal with that pressure. And that's why they leave them. I'm gone. I can't take it. I can't. And they gone. So now, you imagine you ain't mentally there yet. And I think I remember you did a sermon on it. Said stepfathers gotta be like a beast. They gotta be a special individual that know Jesus. You gotta have Jesus. You gotta have Jesus, and you have to be okay with investing so much and not getting a return. You have to be okay with it.
That's right.
And I had to listen to that sermon a couple times. It's on YouTube. Pastor Felix Moten. It's on YouTube. Living Families. Check, please. Because when I listen to that, I'm like, and I sit around, and it's little things in my household that I'll never openly talk to my wife about. You know, like just me coming upstairs, cooking breakfast, you know what I mean? And my daughter, you know, she'll walk by, she'll see me. Is mommy up? And then she'll go downstairs to see mommy. And Tasha has to sometimes make her say good morning to me.
I know about that.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like just the little things. Like, okay, you know, I can't even get a good morning. Huh?
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
And you can't say anything. It's like you're trapped in this little world. Because if you say something, then you get hit with, well, that's a child. But then you almost feel bad. But you can't deny it cut. You know what I'm saying? And so you start asking yourself these questions like, well, am I destined to just walk around this house bleeding?
It's tough, bro. I was in the kitchen one morning and little man wanted a bowl of cereal. I'm right there by the cabinet, by the cereal. Yep, picture of the house ain't no fortress. It's right here. His mama then laying down. He going there, "Mama, can I have some cereal?" I'm just looking like, he fix me some cereal. I'm like, I'm right here. I'm capable of fixing the cereal. Then I said, man, he can't be asking me for a bowl of cereal. She was like, well, you know, he don't know that he could be comfortable asking you stuff yet. Yeah. And you know, I'm talking about just building that trust, establishing those lines of communications for a child. Even the good morning, can I have a bowl of cereal? Like all that comes after they feel comfortable trusting you. Now, like recently, now we in the living room. His mama be in the room. He's out there with me the whole time. We playing games, doing all this kind of stuff, and I can tell that comfort level is getting there. But then we'll have a great day, and then later that evening we'll have. Then it's just like, man, you feel like all the progress you made, it's just gone.
Or a phone call comes from the father.
Yeah.
Right. But then I have to remember it's like working out. I go to the gym for a week. But if I miss one day at the gym, that don't mean the whole progress that I made for that whole week is gone. So you're going to have those snags here and there, but you have to just keep going. And like you said, it does hurt. And a lot of times as a man, I know I can't lose my emotion. If me and the mother have an issue or the child have an issue, I can't just spaz out and just lose control and get loud and do all that kind of stuff. I gotta just be stable, because especially if the child sees the mom spaz and they see me spaz, and that creates dysfunction in him, and he thinks this is how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
But as a man, I gotta stay calm and say, you know what, we'll talk about this when cooler heads prevail, or this is how I feel about that. I understand you upset. We're gonna come back to it later. Because if I just lose control, then, and I'm the head of the house, that means we have no control in the house.
Yeah.
So once again, with the child being the main thing in the home, I have to keep. Now, is that always easy to do? No, because do your buttons get pushed? I'm talking about they get pushed, and you was like, man. Sometimes you feel like you just, like you say, you just sitting there, you like, is what I'm saying in Chinese? Is it in Spanish? Do they not understand how I'm feeling?
Yeah.
And then you feel like sometimes if I tell how I feel, it always turn into an argument. So I'm just gonna sit over here and just be quiet and just be the guy that y'all want to sit in the corner and just do whatever while y'all just live y'all lives over here. Oh, you hungry? No problem. I just go back to the corner now.
Yeah, I call that the Uncle Pete syndrome. I mean, the movie Soul Food. You see a dynamic in watching that movie. You see, it's all about women.
Yeah.
You know, and every time dinner's going on, first of all, there's no patriarch. It's a matriarch. It's Big Mama. You know, so apparently, whoever the father was, he was the first to go. Such as the same situation in our culture. You know, usually men just die out first. You know? And yeah, seriously. And dude, you see all of these women, and the closest thing to a patriarch in the family is Uncle Pete. And Uncle Pete is in a back room. He never comes out. They take his food, they slide it to the door. And I mean, honestly, bro, I have literally seen that happen. Real life, real time, where a man just all you ever see him do is work until one day he's unable to work, and then he's just stuck somewhere.
That's true.
You know, I go visit nursing homes and I see men who are old and bitter. They're bitter, man, because they feel like they threw their whole life into something and nobody ever just said thank you. Just acknowledged it, man. I mean, that's a lot of life to pour out, and for nobody to ever come back and say thank you. And I will tell you, one of the things that I was really, really concerned about, man, was a fear of rejection. It's like I was on this Cosby Show kick. I was like, I'm gonna make a real family work. We're gonna have conversations. We're gonna talk. We're gonna do this thing right. But man, one of my greatest fears was one day my daughter coming in the room and hitting me with, "You ain't my daddy."
Boom.
You know, and I lived under that fear for a long time. Now, mind you, you would have never spotted it because I reinforced it with things to make sure that would never happen. But that motivation was there. I want to make sure she never worries or never is concerned or never feels like there's a problem there between us. And man, when doing all those things, kind of, it wasn't like it was just done just out of an active motive. It was reactive. It wasn't done. It was done to stop something.
Yeah.
You know. So I want to make sure she doesn't feel like her relationship with her dad is threatened. I want to make sure she doesn't ever have to come to me like that, man. Because honestly, I'm like you were saying, I don't know how I would respond to that.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, if we talk like men, it's like, okay, so I'm dad when it's time to register for school, and I'm dad when it's time to get school clothes, and I'm dad when it's time, you know, they hit you with that, oh, we have a supply fee, or I'm dad when it's time for you to, you know, co-sign on the car. Or I'm dad when you miss a payment. I'm dad when you want a phone. I'm dad when all this stuff goes down. And then as soon as somebody don't get their way, if you hit me with You ain't my daddy. I can't be responsible for what's gonna happen. Something's going to go down. Trust and believe.
I think one thing I did learn. That's why us as men, like you say, you go to them nursery homes, you see a lot of men just old and bitter. I think that's why it's important for us to lead our families in faith, man, and keep we gotta lead our wives. The Bible say women are the weaker vessel. You know what I'm saying? And women, just sometimes we gotta keep them strong.
Yeah.
I believe because it would not. You know, that mind could become idle, and that mind, that's the devil's workshop. You know what I'm saying? They not strong, therefore, your kids. Up and recently, I realized something. I went up against someone in my family, the enemy tried to attack. Weeks later, when it bounced back, and we reading Bible scriptures during the week, I'm constantly trying to keep everybody head focused and in the faith, and not just beating them down or whatever, but I do realize, man, that I've been letting the world have too much of my family. For his music, for his just everything. You know what I'm saying? I realize, man, that you gotta lead your family, man. If you do not lead them the correct way, it can be a disaster. You know what I'm saying? It can come in crazy ways. So I stepped up. My wife trusted me to step up as the leader. So when I got the reins to be able to put him on punishment, you know, he act up, I could take away. She gave me that responsibility, you know, and I took pride in it, you know, and that's something that, you know, I'm just glad to have that. And like I said, I guess it's kind of good that, you know, I don't got to deal with the other guy. Yeah. Because I don't know, you know, some people make like, don't tell me
it's different,
what to do. Well, for me, I've been married 3 years. We were together 3 years before. So it's been 6 years together. The son is 16. So I met him at 10, you know, it's been a big shift, you know, watching him just become a teenager and that whole process. And you talking to someone who didn't even have a child. So one thing I did realize at the beginning I didn't do. At the beginning I was living a whole lot. I was living reckless. I was still at a reckless point of life where I then eventually realized as years went along that you have to be an example of what you want to see. I had to really start, because he was following what I do. I started to realize, man, he's starting to listen to what I listen to. He's starting to do this and find interest. So I had to try to find different ways to invest. And the closer I became to Christ, I had to find ways to invest and help change his lanes, because as long as I was living a certain way, I see he was listening to the same music. I come in the room, I hear him in there bumping, and he done learned the lyrics, and even the friends and the people he tried to attach himself to, he tried to, you know, so I would tell anybody, man, just lead by example and try to be the change you want to see in your home, and definitely be a leader and stand strong in your faith. And prayer is everything. I tell people, like, you can pray when you're riding in your car at home together or whatever, but you definitely have to be that leader of change. And, you know, and like I said, he's getting ready to graduate soon, so that time will be approaching real soon. So it's definitely, you know, it's a walk. But one thing I know, if you walking with faith and, you know, you walking with God, of course, you got it. But the moment that you just feel like you can walk on this on your own and lean on your own understanding, man, certain rocks will come your way and you won't know how to handle it. So, I mean, you know, I have so many prayers. I'm like, maybe you could be wondering, I hope they ain't out here having sex. And, you know, you get to that age when they're a teen, you like, man, I know how it go, because I know what my mind was. So, but I do know if you be that right leader for your family, I believe if they go astray, they will come back. That's just what the Bible says. I come from a family, my dad been a pastor 19 years, so I took the interest of my father because he led correctly. He wasn't just any kind of pastor. I watched the man of integrity. I watched the way he walked, how he treat people. And me being around that, that's what I became a product of. Therefore, you can have another brother or a sibling who wasn't around him as much and didn't have the luxury of what you had because, you know, he took a certain walk away. You know, he walked off at the age of 16, 17 and took his own road and didn't want to be around that. So then, therefore, you see him, and I'm just being blunt and honest. You know, he ended up in prison doing time because, you know, I chose to, you know, I watched my father, you know, and they just worked out for me like that. But I stayed under that covering, and you just got to be that change and be that leader of the house. That's what I believe. So I believe it'll be good. Just keep the faith and keep it pushing, man, and definitely pray about everything with your family. That's what I got.
Joseph was in a blended family.
Yeah.
And he had raised Jesus. Now, you just never know. It could be that God is going to take the gifts and talents that you have and allow you to intercept something that Satan had planned. And it could be very possible that you're going to be able to pour your heart and your soul into the next great evangelist or the next great pastor or the next great worship leader, somebody that could change the course of this world. You know, and you don't want to let something as petty as she got a baby.
Come on now.
Stop all that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I get it.
So, in the words of the old Negro spiritual, let Jesus lead you all the way.
All the way. Amen, Pastor. I thank you for that. I believe this was very important. This was very vital. I hope that we gave a lot of stepfathers a voice during this series. I pray that you heard all that was said, not just with your ears, but also with your heart. And I hope we spark a lot of conversations from the barbershop, you know, to the bar, you know, wherever you gotta have a conversation at, have a conversation. Because if you're the kind of guy who continues to internalize and bleed in the corner, eventually you're probably just seconds or minutes away from snapping. So we don't want that. Nobody wants that. God doesn't want that. So we're going to do this as much as we need to give y'all a voice out there and educate our women as well, our spouses, women who are mothers, single parents out there. That gives them something to think about and shape even as they look for a husband as well and make a fresh start. There's so much to think about with everything that we just unpacked today. So thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you again. Don't worry. We got more for you for this Stepfather series. Of course, I love you. We all love you. And that's a wrap.
A lot of times, man, when God call you to do something, a lot of folks around you might not understand. They may even criticize what you're doing. Regardless of that fact, you gotta keep it moving, man. All gas, no brakes. All gas, no brakes, no brakes. Burning rubber, I'm in my lane, All gas, no brakes, When they hate, I just accelerate, get out the way. All gas, no brakes, Burning rubber, I'm in my lane, All gas, no brakes, When they hate, I just accelerate, get out the way. Move. They don't really wanna see you win unless your moves gon' benefit them. I ain't really trying to be around them. Bend the corner so hard, might bend my